If you're over 40, I'm presuming that you've experienced more than a few relationships full of glorious ecstasy and sheer agony. Over the years, I'm sure you've learned some very valuable lessons and experiences about dating, marriage, and living together. It takes a huge commitment and many sacrifices to successfully share your life with someone. And for most of us, it was definitely worth it. Whether you're divorced, widow, or never been married, you should know that it's hardwired in our DNA to seek love and have a companion, someone to love. It's been proven that it's so much better for our survival, our happiness, and longevity. At this stage in our lives, it's important to realize that if you're looking for your ultimate companion, it's necessary to regroup, to do some soul searching and take inventory so you can prepare for what could be your final quest to find and connect with your perfect partner. Let's face it, we've probably had some incredible, amazing experiences along the way that have enriched our lives tremendously. We most likely have learned some very valuable lessons and lots of wisdom. If you've been single for a while or getting out of a bad relationship, you've probably picked up some pretty dreadful habits that are not conducive to forming new relationships. For this reason, I prefaced the outline dating program with a section that covers the necessity and importance of first preparing yourself for a relationship so that you'll have a solid foundation to build on. Some of the main reasons many relationships fail are because people change, your partner wasn't who you thought they were, and the relationship was built on a shaky foundation. If you want to find a quality companion to be happy with for the rest of your life, and if you want to avoid the anguish and heartbreak caused by another failed relationship, I've listed the most critical factors that lead to failed relationships that you can learn from. This can help you to be aware of them when you're trying to select a quality person to share your life with. Watch this next presentation to give you some advice on how selective you should be when choosing your next and possible last love match of your life.
How selective can I be? Who you choose as your mate, partner, or lover to spend the rest of your life with will almost assuredly be the most important decision you'll make, and it'll be the biggest factor towards your future happiness. The time you spend learning and preparing yourself for this critical selection process will pale in comparison to the ultimate consequences you'll face if you don't. So you really need to ensure that you do whatever you can to make the best choice possible, and that starts here. A major paradox in your selection process is, on one hand, the urge to find a perfect partner as soon as possible, and on the other hand, the need to take your time since you want to be selective while searching for your ultimate companion because you don't want to settle. So the question becomes, how much time should you spend waiting to find the perfect mate? How choosy can you afford to be? Understanding the rules of the interpersonal marketplace will help to provide the answer. As we learned in the previous session, the interpersonal marketplace will automatically determine your dating, quote, market value based upon your desirability factor, which you have control over to a very large degree. Your desirability factor is the total number of assets you bring to the table, which results in the quality and quantity of potential partners you'll be able to choose from, or will be attracted and have an interest or desire to be with you. When I write that you have control over your DF, or desirability factor, I refer to you being the best you can be, along with the incorporation of the numerous methods and techniques I teach in the training. When I mention your assets, I'm referring to your physical, spiritual, emotional, intellectual, influential, material, and any other features what makes you who you are. In 1979, Bo Derek starred in 10, a movie about the perfect-looking woman. I don't know how many of you remember it, but men commonly use this rating scale when referring to a woman's beauty. I want you to measure yourself on the scale, except I want you to include 10 factors instead of just one for your appearance. I've created a little exercise for you with a simple tool I've named the Desirability Factor Estimator. You can click on the link below to download it. I've listed the top 10 factors most singles look for in a mate, and I want you to evaluate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being highest. 100 is a perfect score, and as I previously mentioned, this tool is not totally scientific because every score is subjective and relative to each individual's opinion. You can have someone that you trust who will be brutally honest, rate you, or you can rate yourself. The purpose and benefit of this exercise is to show you those areas that you need to improve on if you want to increase your value in the dating marketplace. The higher you rate, the better quality of mate you'll date. It's been stated that the total value of qualities you possess determines the quality of person you'll caress. In other words, we all tend to match up with others who have a similar value in the marketplace. The more you improve yourself, the higher quality of person you'll be able to connect with. This process will give you more insight into that quality of a mate you're worthy of. If you're too selective, then the longer it will probably take to find the perfect mate and the more difficult it becomes to find them. You'll get more set in your ways, you'll get frustrated, discouraged, you'll start to lose your edge, your looks, and your sexiness. A number of things start to occur that can make it progressively more difficult to connect with that one special person as time passes. That's why it's important to kind of realize your own capabilities. On the other hand, you don't want to jump into any relationship and repeat the mistakes of your past. Your remaining time is limited to find your perfect partner, and you don't have the luxury of jumping in and out of a multitude of relationships hoping the next one is it. You want to make sure that the person you choose to be with is the one that you will be the most compatible with for many years to come, if not the rest of your life. At our age, most of us don't have the time nor the patience to keep going through this mating ritual over and over again. I'm going to show you how to optimize the selection process in a way that will allow you to balance these two opposing dynamics. As you begin this next exercise, as a process for self-examination, I'd like you to first realize that a common obstacle to finding the ideal mate is not allowing yourself to leave plenty of room for all possibilities. In other words, instead of being stuck on seeking a wealthy, super fit sex god or goddess that caters to your every whim and will be totally devoted to you, then maybe you're being too unrealistic. What you really should be looking for is compatibility in all of the things that are important to you, now and into the future. To best achieve this, you'll need to promote your best self to the widest audience possible. Caution: choosing the wrong partner can ruin your life. In this video, I've shown you some ways to determine how selective you can and should be. In the next video, I'm going to show you a checklist for long-lasting relationships. And if I haven't said it, or you haven't heard it today yet, remember to stay sexy, my friends.